Speaker Johnson to show up at the trial of the former president today?
So look, I can't speak to, don't want to comment, obviously, as this is related to 2024 elections, and I can't speak to the speaker's schedule. That is something for him to decide on, and let's not forget, this is also connected to a independent judicial process, so going to be really mindful, and he makes his choices on what he does, with his business. That is his choice to be made. What I can speak to is obviously what the president is speaking to today as it relates to 301 tariffs, making sure that he's protecting American workers, protecting American businesses, making sure that when we're allowed to compete in a fair way, we can thrive. And that's what you heard from this president. And what we've learned and we've seen from what the speaker is obviously leading in with congressional Republicans is that they want to cut Medicare, they want to cut they want to cut Social Security, they want to get rid of things that the American people truly care about. And so our focus is going to continue to build an economy from the bottom up, the middle out, this is something that we can speak to. I think the contrast between what we do here and what Republicans, more broadly, Republicans in Congress do is, I think, couldn't be more stark.
Promote his economy. Yep, Bidenomics again. As new polls show, it's in trouble, with nearly 70% of young voters, especially, trusting Trump more to handle it. And even the left-wing media calling Biden a problem for his party. New York Magazine saying, quote, there are legitimate reasons to gripe with some of the arguments for why Biden is so unpopular, ... inflation may cool, but with the election only 6 months away, voter perception of the economy is unlikely to change markedly.
What a contrast indeed. What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today, and we're going to be discussing a little bit about this contrast. We're going to talk about contrast. That's what we're talking about today. So, as you saw from the intro, I led in with Creon Jean-Pierre, and her talks about how all the Trump surrogates are coming in and defending him, right? Because everyone who's not a Democrat sees this as a politically motivated attack. Even if there is even a sliver of a possibility that you can convict Trump on any of these charges, everyone knows that if Trump was someone else, you wouldn't be going after him this way. Like, one narrative that the media always tries to paint about Trump is that he's treated differently from everyone else. And they try to spin it as if, oh, he gets special treatment compared to everyone else. No, y'all got special prosecutions for him compared to everyone else. Joe Biden, who was vice president, had documents. He's not even technically supposed to have them. I think only the president is supposed to have documents or is allowed to carry documents out of the White House. But Joe Biden as a VP was allowed to do it. Hillary Clinton was allowed to do it. No prosecution. But when it was Trump doing it, no. We hold him at a different standard. Prosecute him. Throw the book at him. And this is why a lot of people are starting to lose trust in our legal system. And I think that this is the contrast that Joe Biden is inadvertently making, right? Joe Biden is running on a campaign of he's defending democracy. But when you look at his actions, right, like the good book says, like the Bible says, right, you know them by their fruit. You know them by their actions. You know them by their deeds, not their words, their deeds. Look at Biden's deeds. Does Biden's deeds speak defending democracy? No. Going after your political, like, the optics do not look good. Anyone who's not a Democrat can see this is a politically motivated attack. And he's talking about, oh, I'm trying to defend democracy. Many voters don't agree with you, Joe Biden. Many voters see you as a bigger threat to democracy than Donald Trump. And this narrative they keep trying to spin, oh, he's dangerous, he's a Nazi, he's this and that, ain't working no more. Because the mainstream media is in of itself a threat to democracy, but also they hurt their own credibility. And when I say democracy, it's at this point, we're so loose with our language that democracy and republic essentially means the same thing in our day and age right now anyway. But this is how the media is a threat to America. Because you got biased left-wing hacks. Overwhelmingly, most journalists are ideologically liberals, donate heavily to the Democratic Party. And the same way that they don't need as much evidence to prosecute Trump, they need a greater burden of proof to prosecute a Democrat. And this is how the mainstream media operates. New York court denies Trump appeal of gag order in New York City. And this is one of the reasons why there's been a special focus on all the surrogates that came down and is speaking in behalf of Trump, is because Vivek, right? Byron Donalds, I believe he was also there. They decided to show up and, defend Trump. Because Trump has a gag order. I just showed you. Trump has a gag order. He can't talk. He can't speak. Right? Media's like, oh, these guys are talking for Trump. They're Trump's mouthpiece. Well, who's the one who put the gag order on? Your Democratic affiliated judge did that because Trump kept highlighting how his family members, his daughter, I think, is making money and campaigning, raising funds off of you prosecuting Trump, her father prosecuting Trump. And Trump was calling that out. And he's like, oh, no, you're disparaging my family. Gag order. Come on. This is how the Democrats cheat. When Republicans complain about rigging the election, this is what they're talking about. You're interfering. You're putting legal procedures in place. You're changing rules to the game to slant the odds in your favor. And this is the rigging that a lot of conservatives have a problem with. But now it's coming out to the light. But I digress. I don't want to ramble too long, right? We're here to hear Vivek Ramaswamy, and he's trending again on Twitter, or X, sorry. I keep saying Twitter. Forgive me. But let's hear a little bit about this speech that's getting Vivek trending right now. Let's take a look.
Thank you. I want to thank my colleagues, Governor Burgum, Congressman Mills, and Congressman Donalds for laying out the political backdrop here. This is a politicized persecution that is nakedly apparent. What I want to do is dive a little bit deeper into what we actually learned today in that courtroom. What do we see in there? First of all, I learned a lot from being in there in person. It is one of the most depressing places I have been in my life, but it is fitting because the only thing more depressing than the environment of that courtroom is what's actually happening in there. It's straight out of a Kafka novel. The prosecution's main strategy appears to be to bore the jurors into submission. And if you look in that direction, sadly, it may appear to actually be working. Now, I would like for anybody here in the press, anybody at home, anybody in MSNBC or the media afterwards, to clearly state what exactly is the crime that Donald Trump committed. Oh, wait.
It's hard to argue that. Like, what is the crime exactly? The federal government didn't want to prosecute Trump over this. The previous attorney general, I believe, before Alvin Bragg came in, didn't want to prosecute Trump for this because he said, hey, there's nothing here. Right? Your star witness, Michael Cohen, has a reputation of being a compulsive liar, exaggerator. Apparently, he played a secret tape and it still didn't really do anything. It still didn't really prove anything. What's the prosecution here? End of the day, like, this. Look, I always try to make my videos kind of fit a common theme, but this is what the Trump trial is about. Trump trials is related to 2024 election. That's it. You heard it straight from the press secretary's mouth. Even though she tried not to say anything, people get mad at Jean-Pierre because, hey, Jean-Pierre don't like to speak about anything. We don't find out nothing. She can't explain Biden's agenda. She can't explain nothing. She just used this as a campaign tool. Hey, they want to cut Medicare, Social Security. No Republican has said that. Did she give a quote? No. She's just assuming that. She's just trying to frame that to the Republican movement. Like, make it make sense. But they expect you to believe their narrative about this case. This is why only Democrats can believe this garbage. That this hush money trial is actually some big deal. To the point where they're so desperate that they want people to like follow this, that all they do is show this guy. All they do is show Donald Trump going to court. Making it all about him. But every time people go in their grocery store, right? Me and my wife, we go to our grocery store and we see how expensive things are getting. Milk is almost $7. We're like, yo, what the hell is going on? All I can think about is it's because Biden's in office. It don't matter how many times you put Trump in our face. It don't matter how many times you try to make this it's about Trump. Oh, we can't let Trump get in office. Every time I look at Trump, I remember 2019. 2020 wasn't Donald Trump's fault. It was COVID. Sorry, not sorry. Because even if you put Joe Biden, if it was Hillary Clinton during 2020, during COVID, no one would put the blame on Hillary Clinton about the economy crashing. Because the popular thing to do in 2020 was to lock down. But all of a sudden, we're supposed to hold Trump accountable for that. Make it make sense. Jean-Pierre is right about one thing. And Jean-Pierre is right about one thing. There is a contrast. This is a contrast. And I think the contrast for most people, they want Trump in office. They rather have 2019 than 2021. 2021 was the highest inflation in 40 years. Your boy, Joe Biden, did that. But instead of worrying about that, you try to smoke screen. You try to, oh, look, they're trying to cut Medicare. Well, look, don't worry about no Medicare. We'll be broke before we can even take advantage of Social Security and Medicare with you guys running things. Ukraine out here embezzling money. We find out that there was a wall that was supposed to be built by our foreign aid package that we sent to Ukraine. Found out that it was we got scammed out of money because these companies never existed in the first place. So there is no wall. So essentially, they laundered the money. Ukraine, look it up. Oh, well, you don't focus on that. No, we focus about Trump hush money trial. This is what we're focused on. Something that is unconsequential, even if you convict Trump on this, is unconsequential. Okay, he had an affair. Joe Biden had an affair before. Bill Clinton had an affair. Okay, powerful men, rich, powerful men sleeping around. Okay, how long ago was that? How does that have to do with my situation right now in 2024? That's how I'm thinking as a voter right now. But instead, you keep putting it in my face, liberal media, and then you wonder why the American people don't trust you. I digress.
We have not heard a good answer to that question. It has been vague until today. You heard Michael Cohen's testimony, after which I would say it is less clear than ever what that crime actually was. They'll say falsifying business records. Well, let's look at who did we learn falsified business records today? Yet, what, hour, 2 hours, felt like it could have been 7 hours of Michael Cohen talking about how he falsified business records. Okay, so you have a guy who has been a perjurer in the past that is now saying he falsified business records. What is the crime that Donald Trump committed? Now, it appears to be what they might allege is some sort of bookkeeping error or whatever. The real bookkeeping that we need accounting of is Judge Merchan's own family member collecting millions of dollars as a Democratic operative, using the existence of this trial as a fundraising ploy for Democrats. This is unconscionable. Imagine if the same shoe fit the other foot. Imagine if it was Joe Biden.
And this is what I'm talking about. I just want some consistency, right? Because mainstream media swear up and down, right? These journalists, these mainstream journalists, these opinionated people on these liberal news sites and shows, they swear up and down that they speak nothing but the facts. They call it down the middle. But they don't even expose this angle that Vivek is going into. Hey, this is why some people think this is politically motivated. Look at the lady did campaign on this. The lady did say that. No, they don't acknowledge any of the stuff that Vivek is saying. They'll hear this and they'll try to make it about something else. This is why the mainstream media is a threat to democracy. But YouTube has them as authoritative sources, right? YouTube, or rather you listen to them than listen to me and other alternative people just like you, just regular people, going to work, coming back from work, right? 6 p.m. at the time I'm making this video, right? Lending my voice to the issue, saying like, yo, I don't care about this nonsense. This is a big distraction at this point because the Democrats can't really run on anything. The intro pretty much summarized this whole entire video for me. The Democrats got nothing to run on. The economy, we're building the economy from the bottom up, middle out. More like destroying it from the bottom up, middle out. Bidenomics. Like I said, Democrats is like double speak. Oh, we're here to help America. No, we're here to help ourselves, right? That's the Democratic Party. We stand above you. We extract resources from you. We extract wealth from you. We put you to the side and then we import more voters from outside of your border. When they depress your wages, tell you, hey, you can have minimum wage. We can increase your minimum wage. Gavin Newsom from California. Then you end up losing your job. because your job is not really worth $25 an hour minimum wage, but you bought into the line because you like the desirability of a policy instead of the feasibility of policy. You rather a politician tell you what you want to hear instead of telling you the reality of what that policy entails. In this point in time, 2024 is about trade-offs. What trade-offs are you willing to make America? Because honestly, I'm starting to think 2024 election is going to be an IQ test. This is an IQ test at this point. Are you going to go down and pick your party over because you don't like a certain individual? Make your life hard. Like, imagine having so much disdain for an individual that you don't want to vote for him, even if he has the solutions to the problems that's currently the biggest problems right now in 2024, the border and the economy. But because you don't like what he has to say, you don't like his orange tan, you don't like how he expresses himself, you go with the other guy that's his deeds speak disaster for our country, but his words sound palatable. Oh, I love his words. I can't get behind this, bro. I honestly can't. I digress.
That was on trial, you had a Republican judge whose son was collecting millions of dollars as a Republican operative. What would you all be saying? This would not be justice. This is injustice at its worst. So let's go even a layer deeper, right? Because let's go even a layer deeper, actually. The alleged crime here is supposedly, they try to point to this every day, that he does not actually use campaign funds, that he used personal funds. Well, let's get this straight. Suppose Donald Trump had used campaign funds to make a personal expense. They'd be going after him for that. So if they're going to get him going or they're going to get him coming, that is the best proof that this is a politicized sham. Let's go through it piece by piece. If you tell somebody to go buy you a suit and you want to look good on television because that'll affect the voters, the way voters vote for you, you know what? They prosecute politicians if they use campaign funds to buy a suit. If they say, go get a haircut, if you use campaign funds to get a haircut because you want to look good to the voters, they will actually prosecute you for using campaign funds for a personal expense. Yet the entire legal theory of this case, the whole case that Alvin Bragg has brought, depends on one premise for them to charge this as a felony, is that Donald Trump somehow should have used campaign funds to make an allegedly personal payment. Yet if he had done that, their case against him would be even stronger. This is garbage.
Doesn't matter. Yo, I get the video right there. It doesn't matter what Trump did. The whole purpose of the trials is to get Trump. I'll reiterate my point again. The whole point of the trial is to get Trump. It's related to the 2024 election. That's it. The trials is just, it's a distraction. It's to distract you from actually evaluating the results of Biden's process, Biden's approach, Biden's policies. What did Biden do? Did Biden really unite the country? Or was he truly the divider in chief? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd really be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.